King Kenny has a lot to prove in this Kingpyn tournament, and it looks like he's heading in a direction to do just that.
He's done it from time to time. Just a bit. From the United Kingdom, the Nightmare.
Alright, so I just want to start off by saying this whole tournament is a huge risk for King Kenny, and I totally respect it. After his loss to Ashley Roxu on the last Misfits event, a lot of people were clowning on him. A lot of people were hating on him. The Kenny abuse has been pretty insane. And I saw a lot of people saying, oh, he's just going to go back to fighting bums. He's just going to get a bunch of easy fights, knock out those guys, and he's done with the difficult fights because he's done it too many times. But no, he is throwing himself right back into the fire with this entire Kingpyn tournament, and I totally respect it. And I'm glad to see him push himself, bringing on new challenges, and proving that he is one of the best guys in this scene. And that is what he can do with this opportunity. This is huge, because if he can have some good performances in this tournament, he doesn't even have to win it. But if he places high up in this tournament, he will gain a lot of his respect back from the fans and the fighters themselves. And in my opinion, King Kenny got a great first opponent for the first round. And that's not because I think my mate Nate is bad. I don't. I do think he is one of the weaker opponents in the tournament, but I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's going to just run through him in 30 seconds. But stylistically, I like it for King Kenny. And that is because my mate Nate is also a technical fighter. He's not going to rush in just throwing a ton of shots. He's not Tom Zanetti, which is kind of the last opponent King Kenny needs to be fighting right now. So we've all seen the new footage from King Kenny. If you haven't, I'll play it right now. And it looks like he is letting the hands go. And it looks like that is the strategy coming into this Kingpyn tournament. Is that they keep saying, oh, he's going to let the hands fly. It's a different Kenny. No more Mr. Nice Guy, right? That is kind of the whole narrative of King Kenny in this tournament. Redemption, proving himself. And if this is a new strategy, because he hasn't been fighting like this in the past, he's been very reserved, sticking behind his jab. If this is really something they want to initiate in this fight, this is the great opponent against another guy who is technical, who will give you opportunities to throw those big shots, because he doesn't want to get in a slugfest with a guy like Gibb or Tom Zanetti yet. That is not the type of fight you want to start a new strategy. This is the type of opponent where this could end up working, because that's not how my mate Nate fights, and that's not how he's seen Kenny fight. So if Kenny comes in here and starts throwing his hands while also staying technical, we could see a finish, which would be a huge statement for Kenny in this first round. Because if not, this could be a pretty boring fight. Not a bad fight, but just not a high-paced fight. It could be a very technical fight, and maybe Kenny can win on points. He won't get a finish. That's how the old Kenny would win this fight. But new Kenny said that's not what he's doing anymore. He's going to come in here, throw, and if he does that, I believe he is going to finish Nate in maybe the 4th round. And that's what I'm going to predict for this fight as well. Because I do think he's going to do it. I do think this is an opponent who will allow him to do that. Because Nate is going to want to stay on the outside. It's going to allow Kenny to put on that pressure. And if Nate can't counter it, which is also possible, if Nate is really that good technically as a boxer, he may be able to counter King Kenny's pressure. But I really don't see that happening. I do think this new strategy can work. And then once he gets a little more experienced in this way of fighting, that's when we can talk about the Gibb fight. And that's when we can talk about Tom Zanetti, because those are the guys who I'd be a little more worried about. So what do you guys think? Do you think King Kenny is going to revert back to his old ways? Do you think he's going to win this fight? Do you think Nate is going to win this fight? Let me know. Subscribe for more boxing content and updates if you feel like it. That would be pretty cool. The support is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Peace.